how we can relate to classes, and we can show this relationship in UML diagram. We will now see how we can show the inheritance relation in UML. So the example that we have done was a circle extends geometric object. So using the common association relationship, we will put a straight line between circle and geometric object class. We will name the relation, and the relation is extends, so circle extends geometric object, and there will be an arrow or a triangle pointing from circle towards the geometric object. And this is how we pronounce the sentence: circle extends geometric object. So this in total, since this is common for all inheritance relationship, so we don't need to write this extends to be the name of the relation every time with the triangle like this. Instead, what we can do is we can have simple an arrow from the subclass towards the superclass. It means circle extends geometric object. So with this, we now look at an example. So we will have a common thing, it's called constructor chaining, and we will see what it is. So constructing an instance of a class invokes all the superclasses constructors along the inheritance chain, and this is called constructor chaining. Meaning, if I want to construct an object of my class, it will first construct the attributes of its superclass. If that superclass is a subclass from some other superclass, it will call the constructor of its superclass. So let's look at this example. So here we have a code example. So public class faculty extends employee. It has the main method. It has a faculty no argument constructor. Then another class employee extends person, where we have two constructors. One is the employee no argument constructor. Another one is employee which takes a string as input. Then we have this another class person, which does not extend anything. Pause this video and draw the UML relationship diagram for these three classes: faculty, employee, and person. Hopefully you have come up with the same diagram. So faculty, this faculty extends employee. So faculty extends employee. So faculty extends employee. Then class employee extends person. So employee extends person. Then class person, this is a standalone class. So this is our relationship diagram for the classes. So with this, let's now look into how the code will be executed. So the execution will start from the main method. Then inside the main method, there is only one statement which actually instantiate a faculty object. So new faculty, it will invoke the faculty no argument constructor, which is right here. So it will come here, and then inside we have seen that okay, faculty is not a standalone class, rather it's a subclass. So inside the constructor, instead of doing this println line, it must invoke its super constructor. Even if the super constructor is not here, the compiler will put the super no argument constructor before this line. So from here, the superclass of faculty is employee. So it will come to the employee no argument constructor. Inside this employee no argument constructor, it calls its own constructor by this, which takes a string input. So there is an employee constructor which takes a string input. So it will call from this, it will come here, the employee string S. Since employee is a subclass of person, so before doing anything of the employee itself, it will call its superclass. Since the code is not here, the compiler will put the super no argument constructor before anything. So from this line, it will call the person no argument constructor. And now, since person is a standalone class, it's not a subclass of anything, so it will now actually do the println line, and it will print this statement. 1. Person's no argument constructor is invoked. And after this execution, it will go back where it was called from. So this person no argument constructor was called from the employee constructor here. So this is done. Then it will print this S statement. This S statement was this line, invoke employees overloaded constructor. After this line, it will come back here from where it was invoked. So since this is done, it will execute the next line. So it will print the statement 3, employees no argument constructor is invoked. Then it will go back to the part where it was called from, which is here, and it will execute the print line here, that 4, faculty's no argument constructor is invoked. So after this line, it will go back to this main method, and inside the main method there is nothing else, so the program will terminate its execution. So this is called constructor chaining, because from one constructor it calls the constructor of the superclass, then it may call the constructor of its superclass. So in this way it will call all the superclasses along its inheritance chain. This is known as constructor chaining.